Welcome to your free demonstration of Wild Soul Movement. My name is DiAlto. I'm the creator of this movement. And if you are landing on this video from my email, you know what you're in for. If you just happen to be a random person who clicked on this on YouTube, Wild Soul Movement is a 12-week practice into self-discovery that I created that combines movement, mantras, and meditation. So this is a full-length video, so you get the entire feel for what a Wild Soul Movement practice feels like. And at the end of the video, or even below the video now, there will be a link to go to the website. Summer session for Wild Soul Movement runs beginning June 9th, and you can still enroll through 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, June 6th. So, to give you an idea of what you're in for, Wild Soul Movement runs anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, and we begin always with a meditation where we set an intention, we focus on the mantra for that specific day, and we get into our body. This is where Wild Soul Movement differs from a workout, because we're really focused on working in, dropping in and connecting to our body, being present, not just with the movement for the purpose of burning calories or gaining strength. We're really here to feel that connection, to engage our senses, and to get to know ourselves more intimately through that combination of movement and mantra. So we begin with a short meditation. Then we get into the bulk of the practice, which is sensual movement. We'll do some body weight exercises, some sensual movements, maybe some shaking and circling, some yoga here and there. It's a total mix depending on the day, depending on the mantra. And then we always finish with a traditional yoga Savasana so that you can integrate everything we just did. It's all important. It all goes together. It's been tested for over 6 months with over 60 women. And welcome to the practice. I'm really excited to do this with you today. So, get yourself into a comfortable seated position. You don't need any equipment. Depending on where you are, you might want a mat, but maybe not even if you're on a comfortable carpet. Roll your shoulders back, drop them down away from your ears, and sit up straight. I want you to begin by connecting with your breath, and depending on how you feel, do a little scan of your body. If you're feeling solid and grounded into the earth, you can put your palms facing up in a position of receiving. But if you're feeling like you're a little in your head, maybe you're a little skeptical or wondering what the hell am I getting myself into, place your hands palms down to kind of ground yourself. You'll hear me say throughout the course of the practice, there really is no right or wrong. As long as you feel good, you're doing it correctly. This is about listening to your own body. So breathe in deeply through your nose, sigh or exhale out of your mouth. Give me a couple more of those. And just imagine with that exhale releasing anything you don't need right now, anything that's not serving you, so you can get present with yourself here and with me for the next 40-45 minutes. Once you're done with your audible exhales, bring those breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. And just begin to calm down here. Maybe you're already calm and you're just getting calmer, slowing down, allowing yourself to feel everything that's going on in your body. Toes all the way on up to the crown of your head. On your next inhale, imagine your lungs expanding, your diaphragm, your belly, all the way down into your womb. We're going to begin to connect with our mantra for this session, which is, I love myself. Now, in this moment, if you don't completely feel connected to the mantra and you're like, I don't really know, I don't particularly love myself right now, just indulge me and imagine that deep down and somewhere inside of you, there is a little piece of you that does. Or maybe you're already radiating self-love and this is just reaffirming it. No matter who you are or how you feel right now, I want you to start to repeat that mantra to yourself, or even out loud if you're by yourself or you're comfortable wherever you are. I love myself. And we're going to keep coming back to the mantra throughout the course of the class. So I'm going to shut up for a few minutes and just allow you to sit and breathe and connect with your mantra. If you find thoughts popping up, just kick them right out of your head by repeating your mantra. That's how we stay focused. Doesn't matter if you're amazing at it, not so good at it. Just do your very best. Repeating to yourself, I love myself. Turning your focus completely inward. There's no one else around. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone or anything. This practice is for you and you alone right now in this moment. Couple more deep breaths here. Coming back to our mantra, I love myself. And you can start to roll your shoulders back. Making these circles as big or as small as you want, whatever feels really good for you. Continuing to breathe, keeping your mantra in mind. I love myself, and roll your shoulders forward. Throughout today's practice, we're going to isolate different parts of your body. Pay attention to the different sensations. Come on over to the side and stretch. I love myself. Bring it on over to the other side. I love myself. And finding a rhythm that's good for you right now. You're going to flow here side to side. And if you have any injuries, just be mindful. If you reach a point where something hurts, figure out where it doesn't hurt and just move to that point. We are not pushing, forcing, or struggling at all for the next 40 or so minutes. We're here to connect with our bodies and feel really good. So take one more deep breath. I love myself. Come on over to the other side. Good. From here, you're going to slowly begin to roll your neck to the left. And a lot of this practice is about moving really slowly, because most of the time in our lives we're rushing around all the time from thing to thing. As women, many of us pride ourselves on multitasking. So for just this short period of time that we're spending together today, let's just do this one thing and make our only goal to feel really good. Next time your chin comes down, go ahead and switch directions. And again, we're moving so slowly here. your instinct might be to pick up the pace. And if you start to feel that urge, slow it down even more. Take a deep breath and repeat your mantra to yourself. I love myself. Good. Come on up to a standing position. And here's what I want you to do. We're going to turn on your body. We're literally going to activate your entire body by patting her down. Okay, so I want you to take a deep breath, feel your feet in the earth, and just feel how you feel right now. Take a little scan from your toes all the way up to your head, and just kind of make a mental note of how you feel right now. And we're going to start at the bottom of our leg. Literally, just give yourself a good pat down to wake yourself up. We're changing your physiology right now, getting your cells moving. If you have the balance or if you need to lean on something, make sure you pat the top, bottom, and side of your foot as well. We're gonna get your hips. Don't miss your booty. There's literally no part of your body you're not gonna pat down right now. We're even gonna pass over our breasts, all the way down your left arm. Make sure you get your hand in there too. Switch on over to your right arm. And don't worry how you look, it's all about how you feel. Good, and obviously when you get to your face, maybe you want to switch to your fingertips so we're not smacking ourselves in the face too hard. Pat down your head, the back of your neck, and you might not be able to reach all the way up and down your back, but to the best of your ability, pat down your whole entire back. Okay. Take a deep breath, root your feet into the earth and see, how do you feel? Do you feel activated? Do you feel literally like you've turned on the cells in your body? Fantastic. So from here, we are going to start with 3 movements to connect to your core, mainly your second chakra area. And for us as women, our sacral chakra, this is where a lot of our creativity and our sexual energy lives. And there are many, many benefits that I dive more deeply into during the official Wild Soul movement to activating this area. So here's what you're going to do. Feet flexed. As you inhale, you're going to lift your legs and bring your chin to your chest. As you exhale, you're going to lower. And I want you to squeeze absolutely everything as you lower. So I mean everything. I mean your abs, your vagina, your anus, all of the things. And if you have any kind of lower back problems, you might want to put your hands under your back, under your butt rather, like that. And be mindful of how it feels for you. Remember, there really is no right or wrong way. It's a matter of that it feels good to you. So imagining strengthening your core here. Inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down, and again, keeping connected to our mantra, I love myself. At any moment in this practice, if you need a break, to take a breath, to stretch, to grab some water, to towel off if you sweat, go ahead and take that break. Don't worry about pausing the tape. And then you just come on back and join us as soon as you're ready. I love myself. We're going to do one more of these. I love myself. And then a little trick I learned from my friend, Kim Anami. Place your hands in a triangle right below your belly button, right on your pelvis there. Take a deep breath, repeat your mantra, I love myself, as if you're literally sending that message deep into your second chakra. Good, okay, come to your knees. From here, I want you to place your hands on your lower back. Your knees can be roughly hip distance apart, but again, be mindful of how your body feels. If you have bad knees and you need to roll up a towel or a blanket under there or something, make any modifications that you need to make sure this keeps feeling really good to you. Inhale, open up, send your head and chest back, send your heart forward. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest, press your hips, press your cheeks, everything comes forward. Inhale, open up, stretch through those shoulders. And again, be mindful of your body. Wild soul movement is all about listening to and connecting to your own body. So you might be super flexible. Maybe you can take this back bend really far. Maybe you're not so flexible. And you know, this is it. Maybe you can only just look up like that and that's all you can do. Well, that's perfect for you. Either way, make sure it feels good. Keep connected to your mantra. Keep repeating to yourself, I love myself. And remember, the point here is we're activating our core, our second chakra, and keeping everything nice and tight, squeezing through your abs, through your pelvic floor, through your vagina, through your anus, all of the things. We'll do plenty of stretching and strengthening and moving and loving. At some point, you're probably gonna think I'm a total weirdo, but by the end of it, you're probably gonna love it. I'm just saying. Okay, hands in a triangle over your lower belly and your pelvis. Breathe deeply and repeat. I love myself. If you can even muster up a smile on your face while you say it, go for it. I love myself. Good, take a quick stretch. Just come into a child's pose. And then you're gonna come onto your feet and your hands. Now, you're gonna start like this in a tabletop. You might wanna adjust your hands. Maybe your fingers are pointing out, back, or to the side. See which one feels best for you. When you're in this extended position, again, everything is squeezed. Squeeze your cheeks, squeeze your abs, vagina, anus, all of the things, your legs. Take a deep breath. And then you're gonna sit down and your legs are gonna be straight out in front of you. So we're gonna go from one to the other. Open up, I love myself. Sit back down, inhale. Exhale, open up, I love myself. Sit down. Now, depending on your upper body strength, this might be kind of hard for you. If that's the case, take a break if you need it. Come on back when you're ready. You're not allowed to judge yourself here. If you catch yourself judging and thinking anything crappy like, ooh, I can't do this, I'm not strong, what do I look like? Stop immediately and repeat, I love myself. Good, we'll do a couple more of these. Extend those hips, squeeze, open everything up, send it to the sky. I love myself. Let's do one more like this. I love this exercise. And if it's really hard, so you know, we do this a lot in Wild Soul Movement, and over the course of 12 weeks, you get really good at this. And you start to feel much stronger and much more confident. Okay, since we're already seated, come on back to the center of your mat. And we're gonna do some circling through our chest. So first, we're gonna start with some isolation. So I want you to just reach with your rib cage over to the left, and then reach over to the right. This isn't a very big motion, okay? So just breathe and flow back and forth from one side to the other. And when you reach over to the left, you'll feel the stretch on the right and the squeeze of the muscles on the left, and vice versa. When you reach over to the left, to the right, you'll feel the stretch on the left, the squeeze on the right. So just come back and forth. We're working on our lateral, which means side to side, range of motion. And again, maybe this isn't a super big stretch or anything for you. Totally fine, just go with it. Make sure it feels good. Remember to keep repeating, I love myself. You might even want to close your eyes. Good, okay, from here, we're gonna go forward, send that chest towards me, and then curl, line your shoulders back. So some of these stretches might feel really, really good to you, especially if you tend to be tight in your upper body. So just enjoy them. And if there's any kind of variation that you feel like taking, go ahead and do it. You don't need my permission. Your body knows best anyway. So we're gonna do a couple more like this. Keep breathing deeply. Sending that breath all the way down into the bottom of your belly, all the way into your womb. Repeating, I love myself. And then the next time you come forward, we're actually going to start circling towards the left. Now, this is where you get to be a little creative. This is where you start to really tune in and listen to your body, because as you go through this circle, you might have an urge maybe to lift up your knees, maybe to stretch a little more to the back. Ooh, you might want to send it out really, really, really far to the right, or maybe you want to come more forward if you have that flexibility in your hips. Maybe not. Maybe you want to pause here and take a bigger, more open stretch to open up your side. I want you to express yourself. And if you've been like an avid exerciser, or if you go to a lot of classes at a gym, or maybe you go to yoga, you're probably really used to the teacher telling you exactly what to do in the precise way, and maybe you like it. Maybe you love those instructions, and maybe it's making you a little uncomfortable that I'm saying do what feels good. So we're gonna switch sides. Take a deep breath. Repeat your mantra, I love myself, and just give yourself permission to trust me for the next 30 minutes or so, and just go with it. And more importantly than trusting me, just trust your body. If you live mostly in your head, she's probably loving this right now. She's like, damn, it's about time someone pays attention to me. And maybe you do already spend a lot of time in your body, and this is just different. Either way, let it feel good. Enjoy yourself. Be here with me, be here with yourself, stay present, breathe. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get these cracks, sometimes my hip, my knee, other places. All that's totally normal. Just remember, make sure it feels good. And if at any moment it doesn't, move, adjust your body, figure out how you can get it to a place where it feels good. Okay, shake that out there. And now let's come on up into a tabletop position. We're gonna circle from our hips while we're down here on the mat. And then we're gonna stand up and do a little bit more movement. But first, let's just get our hips loosened up. Circling clockwise. And again, there's no right or wrong way. So maybe your hip circles are really big, maybe they're really small. Mind your lower back. Think about really arching your lower back as you come around this way, and then squeezing your abs, bringing your hips towards your rib cage as you circle around. Kind of like a cat-cow in yoga, kind of not. And then switch directions. Your head can do whatever it wants to do. Your feet can be flat or flexed. Again, give yourself permission to just do what freaking feels good, and just repeat your mantra, I love myself, and breathe. So simple. We don't need all kinds of complicated stuff. Good. From here, bring your feet together, knees really wide. Take another child's pose. Pause here for a moment. Repeat, I love myself. Okay, let's do a little exercise sequence. Come on up to a standing position, and you can bring your feet about hip width, or maybe as wide as your mat if you're using a mat. So you're gonna reach down for the ground, and again, don't judge yourself on your flexibility. Maybe you're super flexible, maybe you're not. You're gonna walk yourself out to a high plank position, and then you're gonna walk yourself back. You're gonna stand up and give me a body weight squat. Okay, so in terms of form, just make sure you're sitting back like you're sitting on a toilet, right? Butt comes back, knees stay behind your toes, squeeze your cheeks on the way up. This, depending on your level of strength or fitness, this walkout exercise, this might be a little bit tough. So just take your time, and remember, if you need to take a break, you take a break. You come on back as soon as you're ready. And as far as pace for these exercises, if you do actually want to break a sweat, you can pick up the pace. You can go a bit faster, or you can follow my pace, which is a bit slower, because that feels really good for me. Squat down, up, reach down to the ground, walk it out. Repeat your mantra to yourself. I love myself. If any part of the position feels extra good to you, like that little stretch there, I was digging it in my hamstrings, feel free to hold it. Maybe you want to strengthen your core a little bit more. You're more than welcome to hold this plank for a couple extra seconds. Again, consider asking your body what she wants and just listening. And I know some of you might be like, Liz, what the hell do you mean? How do I listen? Is my body going to talk to me? What's it going to sound like? It might not sound like anything. It might just feel really good. So you do what feels good until it doesn't anymore. And then you move on to the next thing. This is an exploration. Good. Squat down. And then we'll do one more walkout and squat. Repeating your mantra, I love myself. Squat it down. Good. Okay, come to your mat. Come down on one knee. We'll go right knee back, left knee forward. And you're gonna stretch forward. It's okay if your front knee passes your front toe a little bit. And then you're gonna come back and point your toe towards the sky. Now again, everyone's body is different, so you might not be super flexible. You might not go as far as I'm going right now, or you might be super flexible and you're going farther than I am. You might not really be able to flex through your hamstring this much, or maybe you can. Either way, find the expression of these movements that feels best to you and stick with that. So let's do two more like this, and then we'll switch on over to the other side. And in any given moment, if you feel the thoughts coming in, or feel any stress or anxiety or anything trickling in that doesn't serve you, just give it an exhale right out of your mouth. Repeat your mantra, I love myself, and just come back. Choose to be here with me. Choose to be in your body. Switch your legs. Come forward. And back. So one of the fun parts about Wild Soul Movement and about these videos is that I do them in real time every week, no matter where I am. So I happen to be in my backyard in California right now, and we just had an earthquake. So the dogs are inside the house freaking out. I totally heard it. I didn't really feel it out here. But so if you join Wild Soul Movement, you get to come with me wherever I go. And this summer, I'm going to some pretty cool places. So we might be on beaches, we might be in parks, we might be outside, we might be on rooftops. That's part of the fun of being wild and free. Okay, so now I want you to come up into a downward facing dog. And if you do yoga, you know what this is. If you don't, you're basically gonna bring your hands about shoulder width apart, your feet about hip distance apart. If you want to make sure you're in a good downward dog, come into a plank first, and then just send your hips up to the sky and try to send your heels towards the ground. From here, we're going to alternate. We're going to go downward dog to upward dog. And that's just this. You have an option. You can actually squeeze your cheeks in the back of your legs and lift your knees up off the ground, press your toes into the earth, but you don't have to do that. You can leave them down if you want to. And then you're gonna come back up into downward facing dog. Keep your fingers spread nice and wide. Imagine gripping the earth. Come forward, inhale. Look up, open your chest, send your heart forward, and then exhale. Raise your hips. Come on back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, upward. Exhale, come back, downward. And as you breathe, feel free to close your eyes. Repeat your mantra, I love myself. And as always, you're welcome to hold either of these longer or shorter. And this is another one where if you want to slow down the pace you can, or if you want to pick it up, that's totally fine. I'll always tell you if we're moving slowly, quickly, or it's up to you. So we'll do one more back and forth. I love myself. Good. Drop to your knees, toes together, and let's just pause and rest for a moment in child's pose. And as you rest here with your chest towards the earth, your forehead planted, your palms planted, take a moment of gratitude and repeat, I love myself. Appreciate your body for moving, for trusting, for listening. Good. All right, let's come on up for some hip circles. These are my freaking favorite. And this is one of the core movements of Wild Soul Movement. As women, you can just shake it out a little bit. Start to kind of move around in your hips side to side. Imagine loosening them up. We don't always move our hips enough intentionally, you know? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to step your feet kind of wide, wider than hip width. Maybe you point your toes out. Really, and sit a little. Bend your knees. I want you to feel really rooted and grounded into the earth. So you might even pick up your toes, plant them back down. Imagine gripping the earth with your toes. Take a deep breath here. Your hands, I want them to just stay somewhere on your body so you stay connected. And you're going to start slow hip circles, okay? Now, over the course of teaching Wild Soul Movement now online with my pilot members for the last 6 or 7 months, I've had a lot of women say they were super uncomfortable when they first started, but then they got totally into it and loved it. So, if this is your first time ever doing something like this, or maybe you've done something similar before, maybe you've gone to a pole dancing class or something like that, maybe you're just out of practice, maybe you feel uncomfortable, just rest into it. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. And maybe you do stuff like this all the time and you love it. You're like, this is my jam. Really get in there. So I want you to close your eyes and kind of give up the need to control anything that's going on right now. So you can keep the circles small or you can allow them to get bigger. And as far as your arms, they can move around, they can move up and down your thighs, maybe on your belly, maybe you're gonna move them all the way up into your hair, like it's completely up to you. Find your comfort zone and maybe allow yourself to step like a little tiny baby micro step out of it. Unless you're feeling super brave and inspired and you just wanna go for it. Let it get messy or really sensual or sexy, whatever is the word. All those words mean different things to all of us. So whatever is your perception, go with it. Okay, now the next time your butt comes back, let's just circle in the other direction. And to be a little symmetrical, start out with the circles slow and small in the other direction. Keep breathing and gradually they can get bigger. You could pick up the pace, but remember, keep your hands relatively close to or on your body at most times. Maybe you even look back, take a look at your booty behind you. Probably looks really amazing. No matter how big or small or curvy it is. How many dimples or how much cellulite is on there. I got plenty of cellulite on my booty. I don't even bother trying to get rid of that shit anymore. It's just who I am. Maybe allow yourself to make some noises. The dogs in the yard next door barking. Maybe they're feeling the wild soul vibe all the way from here. Repeat your mantra, I love myself. And the next time your booty comes back, we're actually going to take a forward fold. So again, depending on your flexibility, your hands might touch the ground, maybe they don't. Maybe you want to grab your elbows for a deeper stretch. You can sway from side to side, or you could hold that static stretch. Maybe you want to reach behind your calves or behind your heels. Totally up to you to enjoy the stretch however you want right now. Just take a couple deep breaths and repeat to yourself, I love myself. So however it's safe and comfortable and feels good to you, coming back up to a standing position. And we're going to come back to circling through our upper body, similar to how we did when we were sitting, but now you're standing and you can take up more space. So just lead with your nipples and you're going to circle like this. If it feels a little awkward and uncomfortable, you might want to start by just going forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back, side, and then when you get comfortable with that, you can circle. Maybe you have a background in dance and you're amazing at this. I don't, so I might even look a little bit awkward, but I just keep my eyes closed and enjoy it. Next time your chest comes forward, you're gonna switch directions. That sometimes does feel really awkward. So you might wanna go back to that isolation where you go side, forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back. And then once you get comfortable, circle it out. Remember, there's not a right or wrong way. It just needs to feel good. Maybe you even wanna put your hands behind your head or something. Whatever makes you feel like you're expressing yourself. This is how my body wants to move right now. Do that. Or maybe you want to put your hands somewhere on your body. Maybe your hair's up and you want to take it out and feel a little more free. Friggin' go for it. This is your time with yourself today. It's called Wild Soul Movement for a reason. We're not just here to move our body. We're connecting our body and our soul. We are letting our mind relax, drop down, feel what we're feeling, connect with the sensations of our body. It's juicy stuff. Okay, shake it all out a little bit, and we're gonna do a little tiny bit more hip work, then we'll stretch a little bit. Okay, so I learned this one from my friend Rochelle. Shout out if she happens to be watching. You're gonna squat down and bring your hips up to the right, okay? So again, if you have knee issues or injuries, you just don't squat down as far, okay? You could do shallow ones, okay? You gotta do what feels good for you. But if you have full range of motion, go ahead and come all the way down. Bring your hips up to the left. Really imagine getting them all the way out there. Take as much space up with your hips and your booty as you possibly can. Down, up to the left. Let's do two more like that. Down, up to the left. And again, with your hands, keep them somewhere on your body. Stay connected to yourself. Keep your eyes closed if you want, unless you feel better having them open. All right, then we're gonna go down, bring it up to the right, down, up to the right, down, up to the right. Still breathing, still repeating your mantra. I love myself. And then we're gonna go down and forward. This one feels a little awkward. It kind of reminds me of Steve Urkel. If any of you were around my age, I remember Family Matters. Kind of a bizarre reference, maybe not for you. Down, up, forward, press your hips forward. If you sit a lot, this probably feels good to press your hips forward and straighten them out a little bit. They're usually flexed. down, forward, and then this one's my favorite. You're gonna squat down and lead, bring your booty up. And then your chest up. Now at this point, I'm hoping you're much more in your body than when we first sat down on this mat. So really allow yourself to get into it. Take some liberties here with these movements. Make them your own, or just do exactly what I do if you don't feel like thinking. And if you're still in your head a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna come back. So let's do one at a time. We're gonna go right, we're gonna go left, right, forward, back at whatever pace and whatever order you want. So left, right, front, back. Good, let's do a couple more like that. Left, right, front, back. Now you might notice I make a lot of noises. That's how my body expresses herself. You might not, or maybe you do. Just don't hold anything back. Don't hold anything in. This is a safe space for you. You can do whatever the hell you want. Be yourself. You might find some stuff coming out of you or some movements that you didn't even know were possible for you. That is the point. That's what we're going for here. Get to know yourself deeply and intimately with these movements. We are shaking things up in your body. We're letting her express herself in ways maybe she hasn't before or just hasn't in a while. Good. Oh yeah. All right. All right, we're gonna shake it out, and then we're gonna stretch. So here's what I want you to do. This is fantastic. Shake out your right arm. Literally imagine anything left that you're holding on to that you don't need today or any other day for that matter. You don't even need to know what it is. Shake it off. Shake it out on the other side. And shaking is nothing new. I didn't invent this. I have plenty of friends who do this in their own practices. Shake it out and think to yourself, or repeat out loud, I love myself. Good. Now maybe you need to lean on something for balance, maybe not, but you're gonna shake out one leg. Shake out the other leg. Good. And shake out through your hips and your midsection and your belly. So whatever that looks like for you. And again, it might feel weird, it might feel uncomfortable, it might be fun to just kind of let yourself go a little bit crazy. And repeat, I love myself. Good, maybe you come down to the ground, you shake out your butt and your hips a little bit more, maybe your arms come up. Again, totally okay to let it be a little messy and a little wild. Whew, that's what we're here for. Repeat your mantra. I love myself. Good. All right. I want to stretch out those hips, and then we're going to wrap up with our final Savasana. So we're going to come into a pigeon pose, and you have a couple options here. If you have the flexibility, you want your leg to be parallel with the mat. You can either flex or point your foot, again, and depending on your flexibility, how tight your hips are, if you have any kinds of injuries, I want you to feel out. This right here might be a good enough stretch for you. If you could go lower, maybe you want to come down to your elbows, and if you're super flexible and open, maybe you come all the way down. But we're just going to stay here, we're going to rest here for several breaths. You might want to make some adjustments. Maybe you send your toes farther back. Maybe you flex your foot. Maybe you point your foot. Totally up to you. Repeat your mantra. I love myself. And if you feel tightness anywhere, or maybe your heart starts to race, or maybe you feel some emotions welling up, don't fight it. Just allow any or all of those things to happen. I know personally, I have cried in this position so many times in yoga classes because we store a lot of energy and a lot of emotion in our hips. That's our second chakra. That's our creativity, our sexual, reproductive energy, our feminine power lives down there. So It's a lot of stuff that some of us don't always express in such healthy ways. So it's pretty normal to get emotional here, or for it to hurt. So again, you find the best expression of the position for you, and you stay there and breathe. Repeat, I love myself. And then we're gonna switch sides. So however it's comfortable for you to get to the other side, switch it out. And you might notice one side might be very different from the other. You might be way more flexible or way more tight on one side than the other. Do not feel like you have to force or push yourself into the same position you got to on the other side. It's okay for it to be different. Lots of stuff in regular normal life is uneven. No different in our bodies. This is about accepting yourself exactly the way you are right now. So breathe. Repeat, I love myself. Take note of how you feel right now. Repeat one more time. I love myself. And then come on up, however it's comfortable for you, to get into a seated position. Maybe you want to take an extra little stretch here. You can do that if you want. So real quick, before we go into our final Savasana, because I want that to be the very last thing you do, so you get the full feeling of this practice and you can integrate everything. If you loved this, there's a link below this video to join me for 12 weeks starting on Monday, June 9th for the summer session of Wild Soul Movement. We will do this every week. There will be a new mantra every week. There's a digital journal with exploration where I'll ask questions. So for example, in the journal for a mantra like today, I love myself, my questions might have been, you know, do you really love yourself? What does that feel like? What do you want it to feel like? What was your resistance to it? Stuff like that, again, because the purpose isn't just to move and work out and exercise, it's to connect to your body, to get used to listening to your body, to feel your intuition, and to get really comfortable in your own skin and to actually love being in your body, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it can do compared to anyone else or anything like that. So again, if you loved it, go ahead, click the link, join us. If you have any questions, you could also click the link, go to the website, click contact, you can email me. And I really look forward to running summer session and kicking this thing off on Monday, June 9th. So, all of that being said, either way, no matter if you decide to join me or not, thank you for spending this time with me today and giving the time to yourself as well. So come on down for our final rest. And you're just gonna lay down, find a super comfortable position for you. And as you relax and melt into the earth, into your mat, wherever you are, do a little body scan here as you breathe. And find any little nook or cranny where you could possibly soften or open just a little bit more. So if you have any tension anywhere or any tightness or any pain, send your breath to that space. And I know years ago, the first time I was in a yoga class, I was like, what does that even mean? Send your breath there. Doesn't matter what it means. In your own body, in your own imagination, just imagine that you're doing it. And you are. Repeat your mantra, I love myself. And if any thoughts pop up, again, just keep repeating that mantra, kick them out. Just stay here with me for these last few minutes. Give yourself this time to relax and repair. I'm gonna stop talking now. You just breathe and remember, I love myself. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring one knee into your chest at a time and give yourself a giant hug. Repeat your mantra one last time. I love myself. Come on up to a seated position. Thank you so much. That is Wild Soul Movement.